Hello, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Judge denies motion to seal Hinman documents in Ripple SEC case. Interesting. This is very important. Very important. And it's great to hear this news. This is a huge victory for Ripple. And this does make me wonder, could this be the thing that leads to settlement? Now look, I know guys, we've been hearing about settlement the whole way through this lawsuit. I know how much it's dragged on. I know you're probably sick of the word settlement at this point because we've heard it so many times and ended up being disappointed. But let me just explain the reason why I will say this, okay? I'll give you a quick breakdown before I get into the article. So the Hinman documents relate to a speech that was done by Bill Hinman. I believe this was in 2018, if I remember rightly. And in this speech, Bill Hinman he pretty much said that Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't securities. Okay. He never mentioned any other crypto, just Bitcoin and Ethereum, which caused prices for Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course, to rally because they knew that now they had a certain level of legal clarity. So Ripple was fighting within the lawsuit to say, well, we want to see the documents as to what led to Bill Hinman making this decision, because they basically led a bit of a rabbit hole with Bill Hinman, and it led to him working for a law firm that was actually working for Ethereum ultimately. And there was like a trail that showed Bill Hinman working for a law firm that then was serving Ethereum. He went and joined the SEC. He did his tenure at the SEC. He did this speech, which obviously again gave Bitcoin and Ethereum legal clarity. He then later retired, and he actually then went back to work for the law firm that was dealing with Ethereum. So just from a general observation, what does that sound like? It sounds like maybe Bill Hinman used his power to get into the SEC, give legal clarity to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, I say Ethereum more specifically because they're the ones who are clients of the law firm, and then, go back to the law firm once he was done. So these documents are something that the SEC was fighting tooth and nail to try and avoid giving over to the Ripple. It actually came to a thing where Ripple actually had to keep chasing up these documents because the SEC just wouldn't hand them over. And it just got to a point where every time the SEC would talk about it, they'd basically try and give the judge a whole new reason to reconsider her decision. There was just saying to her, like, hey, can you reconsider your decision? And then there was like, can you reconsider your reconsideration of the decision? It just got ridiculously out of hand. And so they ended up getting the documents, okay, because the judge pressed them for them to hand them over. And once these were seen, the first thing Brad Garlinghouse said on Twitter was, when you see these documents and you see the blatant corruption that's going on, it will shock you. And so now this has been denied. What this basically means is that the judge is saying that these documents are going to be open for the public to see. We're not allowing you to leave these as sealed where certain emails will be redacted or certain information will be hidden. That's not happening. So let's think about this. What potential corruption could be in these emails, right? This could destroy poor SEC's image, right? This could show them to be the corrupt individuals or the corrupt agency it really is. So would this maybe give them the incentive to settle? And as part of the settlement, they give an NDA to Ripple that they do not show these documents to try and save face. Very possible. Very possible. So it makes you wonder, right? It really makes you wonder. So I'm thinking that this really could be the smoking gun that Ripple need. I'm not saying it definitely is, because there's been a lot of times when we thought there'd be a settlement with this lawsuit, but I just feel like this is something that could really be a reason for a settlement if they needed one. So let's get into the article and we can discuss this just a little bit further. Ripple may have just scored a win against the SEC. The crypto firm has been tied up in a lawsuit with the SEC for several years after the commission accused Ripple of illegally selling the XRP token without registering it as a security. Part of the legal battle has centered around a controversial 2018 speech and the documents that surround it. In the speech, Bill Hinman, a former SEC director, explained why he did not consider Bitcoin or Ethereum as securities. Quote, "Putting aside the fundraising that accompanied the creation of Ether, based on my understanding of the present state of Ether, the Ethereum network and its decentralized structure, current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions," unquote, Hinman said. Back in 2021, Ripple used this speech as an indication that the SEC does not view Bitcoin or Ethereum as a security, arguing that XRP should not be considered a security either. The company then filed for a Freedom of Information Act request, which would reveal documents clarifying how Hinman came to this conclusion. The SEC responded claiming that, at times, Hinman's speech represented his personal views rather than the Commission's policy. As a result, the governing body wanted to withhold the documents linked to this speech from public scrutiny, while also arguing that the documents are protected by a statute that grants privacy for internal deliberations. As a result, they filed a, quote, "motion to seal," unquote, which is a formal request that would prevent evidence from being available to the general public. Judge Annalisa Torres has, however, denied the SEC's motion to seal these documents on Tuesday, saying, quote, "They are judicial documents subject to a strong presumption of public access," unquote. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse responded to the news via Twitter, claiming the decision is, quote, "another win for transparency," unquote, continuing that we should expect to see, quote, "unredacted," unquote, Hinman email soon. This isn't the first time the SEC was denied the motion to seal these documents. Last year, a judge denied the SEC's attempt to shield the same documents after a court order for the SEC to produce the documents in question. Okay, I'm not going to make no promises to say that this definitely means settlement. I'm not going to say that because I've been with you guys a lot of times where I've seen certain information come out and been thinking, yes, this could lead to settlement. And, you know, there's been attorneys who have been watching the lawsuit and thinking that something could lead to a settlement and it hasn't. So I'm not saying that this definitely means it, but this would be the thing for me that would make me think most of all would want them to settle this lawsuit, because this is going to make them look bad. If Brad Garlinghouse is telling the truth, which I've got no reason to think that he's going to lie, if he knows these emails are not bad and now the motion to seal has been denied, these emails are going to come out. So if they're not bad, it's going to make Brad Garlinghouse look like a liar at that point, right? So I've got no reason to believe that he's lying. Plus, if we just go by the lawsuit so far, it's all pointed towards the SEC looking corrupt, not Ripple, right? So if we're going by that information, what Brad said, this is going to make the SEC look very bad. So would they really want this to come out? Right? Maybe not, I would think, but who knows? I mean, they've been very brazen so far with how they are treating the crypto industry, and they don't seem to care about what people think within the crypto space. So who knows? Maybe they will be brazen enough to just let this information come out and not really care. But, you know, it does just make me think maybe this would be something that would expose them so much that they wouldn't want that to happen and they would be willing to settle. So let's see. But there you go, a huge victory for Ripple, and again just showing that Judge Annalisa Torres is on the right side of justice. She's doing a fair judgment here. She's not just siding with the government all the time or anything like that. So again, it gives me more and more confidence that Ripple should be able to win this thing if we're going by it fairly. It doesn't seem like Judge Annalisa Torres is just going to side with the government for the sake of siding with the government. So very exciting news. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is something that could lead to the settlement for the SEC and Ripple lawsuit, or do you think this is not really going to make a difference? Does this make you feel more confident about the lawsuit, or are you still feeling nervous and unsure? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like and subscribe. But until next time, take care.